Have you ever felt like life is moving forward, but you're not quite sure if it's moving in the direction you want? Have you ever caught yourself drifting, hoping things would improve, but never really putting a plan in place? The truth is, without a clear design, life often designs itself, and not always in your favor. That's exactly why today we're diving into the timeless wisdom of Jim Rohn on how to design your life and your finances with true intention. If you want more growth, more discipline, and more control over your future, you're in the right place. Before we begin, make sure you subscribe to this channel because we're building a space where wisdom meets action, and this is just the beginning of your journey.
1. The importance of a clear plan. Imagine walking into an architect's office and asking for a building without any blueprint. Sounds ridiculous, right? Yet many of us approach our lives exactly that way, hoping for success without ever designing a plan for it. Jim Rohn reminds us that life doesn't give you what you want, it gives you what you design. Without clarity, we drift. With clarity, we build. Think about it. No skyscraper, no bridge, no cathedral was ever built by accident. Behind every great structure is a detailed plan. And if our lives are to be great structures of meaning and achievement, they too require intentional design. A plan creates direction. It gives you clarity when distractions come, and it acts as a filter for your decisions. Without one, you're at the mercy of circumstances and other people's priorities. Life without a plan becomes reactive, waking up each day hoping things will work out, only to find yourself constantly fixing problems rather than creating progress. But with a plan, you don't just survive, you direct your energy toward what truly matters. You stop being a passenger in someone else's vehicle and take the wheel of your own. A plan also reduces stress. Much of our anxiety doesn't come from the amount of work we have to do, but from not knowing where to start. When you design your path, you don't eliminate challenges, but you give yourself a clear sequence of steps. You trade confusion for confidence. Suddenly, setbacks become detours rather than dead ends because you know exactly where you are headed. Start small. Write down the life you want in detail. Don't just say, "I want to be successful." Define what success means to you, not to society, not to your neighbors, but to you. Maybe it's having time freedom. Maybe it's contributing to a cause. Maybe it's building wealth. Maybe it's cultivating relationships. Write down what an ideal day looks like. Write the kind of person you want to become. The clearer the picture, the stronger the plan. And don't worry about perfection. Your plan can evolve. What matters is that you give shape to your intentions. A clear plan becomes the foundation for everything else: your goals, your habits, your money, and ultimately, your fulfillment. Think of it as the soil in which all other seeds grow. Without fertile soil, even the best seeds won't thrive. Likewise, without a strong plan, even the most exciting goals may wither under pressure. So begin now, even if imperfectly. Write, sketch, brainstorm, do whatever it takes to put your vision on paper. As Jim Rohn said, if you don't design your own life plan, chances are you'll fall into someone else's plan. And guess what they have planned for you? Not much. Choose to design, and your life will follow the architecture of your own intention.
2. Setting meaningful goals. A plan without goals is like a map without destinations. You can have the best plan, but if it doesn't lead you anywhere, it loses power. Jim Rohn often said, "Goals give your life meaning." But here's the secret. They must be meaningful to you. Empty goals, like chasing numbers for status, won't inspire you long enough to overcome challenges. That's why so many people burn out. They set goals that look good on the outside, but feel hollow on the inside. True goals should ignite your spirit, not drain it. Instead, align your goals with your values. Ask yourself, what do I truly want to experience? Who do I want to become? What contribution do I want to make? This alignment creates emotional fuel. A person chasing goals that reflect their deepest values will always outlast someone pursuing shallow recognition. When your goals are authentic, discipline stops feeling like a burden and starts feeling like an investment in your future self. Think of goals as guideposts. They help you measure progress, not just in numbers, but in growth. They remind you that life is not only about reaching destinations, but also about becoming more on the way there. For example, a financial goal is not just about money. It's about learning discipline, resourcefulness, and patience. A health goal isn't just about fitness. It's about resilience, self-respect, and energy. Goals shape character as much as they shape outcomes. Break your goals down into short-term and long-term steps. Long-term goals are like the horizon. They give you a sense of direction and purpose. Short-term goals are the steps you take daily or weekly. They build momentum and give you small wins that keep motivation alive. Both are essential. Too much focus on the horizon and you feel overwhelmed. Too much focus on the small steps without the big picture, and you risk losing meaning. Balance both, and you'll stay grounded while moving forward. And remember, write them down. A goal in your mind is a wish. A goal on paper is a commitment. Writing forces clarity. It takes a vague dream and makes it tangible. It tells your subconscious that you're serious. Studies consistently show that written goals have a far higher chance of being achieved. So don't just think about what you want, capture it in words, revisit it often, and refine it as your life evolves. Jim Rohn put it beautifully. The ultimate reason for setting goals is to entice you to become the person it takes to achieve them.
3. The bridge between desire and discipline. Most people desire a better life. They want freedom, success, health, love, contribution. Desire is universal. But desire without discipline is like a car without fuel. It looks good, but it won't get you far. Jim Rohn taught that discipline is the bridge between dreams and reality. Everyone dreams, but only those who practice discipline build the bridge that makes dreams walkable. Without discipline, desire stays locked in imagination. With discipline, desire takes form in reality. Discipline doesn't mean being perfect. It doesn't mean living a rigid or joyless life. Instead, discipline is simply the art of keeping promises to yourself. It's choosing the action that aligns with your plan, even when it's not easy. It's about saying no to what weakens you and yes to what strengthens you. Each small act of discipline, waking up early, saving money, exercising, studying, journaling, builds confidence and compounds over time. You begin to trust yourself, and that trust is priceless. Think of discipline as a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. At first, it feels uncomfortable, but with practice, it becomes natural. Skipping the gym once feels like a big temptation. Skipping it after a year of consistent training feels like an interruption to your identity. That's the magic of discipline. It reshapes who you are, not just what you do. Over time, the disciplined life becomes the easier life because it aligns with your values and vision. If desire's the spark, discipline is the engine. Desire ignites the dream, but it cannot sustain it. Discipline, however, provides consistent motion. It fuels progress when motivation fades, because motivation is fleeting, but discipline is lasting. Together, they create unstoppable momentum. That's when transformation begins, not in the excitement of wishing, but in the quiet power of showing up day after day. And here's the reward. Discipline creates freedom. At first, it feels like restriction, but over time, it gives you choices. The discipline of saving money today gives you financial freedom tomorrow. The discipline of health habits today gives you vitality tomorrow. The discipline of learning today gives you opportunities tomorrow.
Jim Rohn summed it up perfectly. Discipline is the foundation upon which all success is built. Lack of discipline inevitably leads to failure. If you want to cross the bridge from desire to reality, discipline is your only way across.
4. Managing money with wisdom. Jim Rohn believed that money is a tool, not a master. Many people earn money but never learn how to manage it, and that's why financial stress becomes their constant companion. The problem is not always income, it is often behavior. A person can double their salary and still live paycheck to paycheck if they have no system, no discipline, and no wisdom guiding their financial choices. Rohn often reminded people that without self-control, more money simply magnifies bad habits. Someone who spends recklessly with a small income will spend even more recklessly with a large one. Therefore, financial freedom doesn't come from how much you make. It comes from how much you keep, how well you invested, and how consistently you grow it. Money is neutral. It is neither good nor bad. It simply amplifies the character and discipline of the one who holds it. In wise hands, it builds security, opportunity, and freedom. In careless hands, it creates anxiety, debt, and dependence. The true mastery of money, then, is not about chasing wealth for its own sake, but about learning to steward it wisely so that it serves your greater vision for life. Start by creating a system, because without structure, money slips away unnoticed. Rohn advised saving a portion of every dollar, no matter how small. This habit builds not only financial reserves, but also self-respect, because every deposit is a declaration that you value your future more than temporary indulgence. He often spoke about the 70-10-10-10 principle. Live on 70% of your income, give 10% away, invest 10%, and save 10%. Such a framework forces discipline and creates balance between generosity, growth, and security. Consistency matters more than the amount. Even small investments, when nurtured over years, grow into significant sums because of the miracle of compounding. Meanwhile, thoughtful spending guards against the trap of lifestyle creep, where people let their expenses rise in proportion to their income, leaving them perpetually empty-handed despite earning more than enough. Rohn called patience and discipline the cornerstones of wealth because true wealth isn't built overnight, it's built through daily decisions repeated faithfully. The individual who embraces discipline eventually lives in freedom, while the one who rejects it lives in bondage to financial pressure. More importantly, money gives you choices, and choices give you freedom. It allows you to live life on your terms instead of being trapped by necessity. With financial stability, you can say yes to opportunities, invest in your dreams, and refuse what doesn't align with your values. Money gives you the ability to take care of your family, to help others in need, and to build something meaningful that outlasts you. Yet this gift of choice only comes if you master money instead of letting it master you. The undisciplined spender is always a servant to money, forever working for it, forever stressed by it. The disciplined steward becomes the master, directing money as a servant to carry out their higher purposes. As Rohn put it, the goal is not to become rich for greed's sake, but to become rich in wisdom, character, and contribution. And money, properly managed, is one of the best tools to make that possible.
5. Designing a life worth living. In the end, this isn't just about money or success, it's about creating a life that feels meaningful, fulfilling, and aligned with your deepest values. Jim Rohn often said, the ultimate reason for setting goals is to entice you to become the person it takes to achieve them. That statement captures the essence of a life worth living. Goals are not only about the rewards they bring, but also about the transformation they demand. When you set a goal to build a business, write a book, or achieve financial independence, you must grow into someone capable of that achievement. The journey changes you. You learn discipline, resilience, creativity, and leadership. And in the end, those qualities matter more than the trophy. A meaningful life, then, is not one stuffed with possessions, but one marked by growth, integrity, and contribution. True success is when who you become in pursuit of your goals is even greater than what you accomplish. Design a life filled with experiences, growth, contribution, and joy. If you only measure success by numbers in the bank, you miss the richness of life's true treasures. Rohn encouraged people to cultivate relationships with care because the quality of your connections determines the quality of your days. A bank account may provide security, but a circle of genuine friends provides warmth, belonging, and joy. Contribution is another pillar. Life feels shallow if everything ends with you. Giving back, whether through mentorship, charity, or simple acts of kindness, creates a ripple that extends beyond your years. Growth is equally vital, for stagnation dulls the spirit. To read, to learn, to stretch beyond your comfort zone is to stay alive in the truest sense. And joy is found not just in grand milestones, but in the daily practices of gratitude, laughter, and presence. When you weave these elements together, relationships, contribution, growth, and joy, you design a life that no amount of money alone could ever equal. When you intentionally design your life, you don't just survive, you thrive. You stop living by accident and start living by design. Most people drift through life, reacting to circumstances instead of creating them. But the act of intentional design is a declaration that your life matters, that your time is precious, and that your choices shape your destiny. Rohn often contrasted the life of discipline with the life of regret, urging people to choose the pain of discipline today rather than the pain of regret tomorrow. A life worth living doesn't happen by chance. It is constructed, brick by brick, choice by choice, vision by vision. When you design your days with care, your weeks become meaningful, your years become purposeful, and your life becomes extraordinary. To thrive is to live awake, aware, and aligned. To know that you are not merely existing, but creating a legacy of value, joy, and fulfillment. That is the true reward of designing a life worth living.
So let me ask you again. Are you living a life by design or are you drifting? The choice is yours, and it starts with clarity, goals, discipline, and wisdom with your finances. Remember, your life is the most important project you'll ever work on. Design it with intention. If this message spoke to you, don't forget to subscribe and share it with someone who needs to hear it today. Because when we grow together, we rise together. The future is yours to design, so start today.